What might help Muslim women become more self-confident? In terms of traditional psychology, each person is created with a feminine principle called the carnal or animal soul, the passions, the nafs amare, and the masculine principle called ability to reason, or the nafs natiq. Culturally, women came to symbolize the carnal soul, while men symbolize reason, so that by controlling women as a carnal soul on the outside, men would control themselves. The exception to this understanding exists in an Islamic way of life known as spiritual integrity, futuwa, and moral reasonableness, moruwa. In the view of this Islamic school of thought and action, each human being contains both a carnal soul and the ability to reason within themselves. It is up to each individual, male or female, to struggle with their own carnal soul to reach toward a stage of moral healing. Such a person is known as a spiritual advocate. Fatah for the male in Arabic and fatat for the female in Arabic, or javon mard in either sex in Turkish, Urdu, and Persian. This is the Islamic school of thought that I follow. What does this entail? It requires that one consciously undertake the greater struggle with the self or ego, the jihad al-akbar, the one that one struggles at each instance of a behavior that reflects the me within instead of centering on others. This is a great deal for the ego to have to give up, and it offers resistance every step of the way. This struggle is a significant one because it reinforces those values which the model human being, Muhammad, peace and the mercy of God be upon him, manifested. That is when reason succeeds in attracting the heart towards itself. The self gains control and mastery over the passions, in inappropriate lust and anger. Gaining mastery, the self can then process values to which it has been guided by revelation, and turn away from the disvalues which guidance through revelation has discredited. Such misguidance and disvalues are interpreting idrabu in 434, or as beat them, instead of the meaning the exact same word has, go away from them, or leave them, or separate from them. The response of the world should provide a Muslim woman with a sense of reflection so that she can look at her surroundings with a critical eye as an intellectual would do. As a member of a group of believing women, fellow travelers at this sensitive juncture of time, her thoughts, ideologies, and spiritual beliefs could come to govern human society today. This is a role which believing women as a group have never played in a significant way throughout the entire history of humanity, but it is a role which her way of life offers to her with open arms. What is important is to develop social growth among the Muslim women themselves, in particular, and in the Ummah as a whole, to stand against the injustice of allowing a husband to act as judge and jury to beat his so-called guilty wife, rather than his innocent until proven guilty wife beaten before she has a chance to give her side. In conclusion, I would like to say, historically it has been shown that until the people in general, and this of course applies to women in particular, are not awakened, and until they not find a social conscience, the journey will end in stagnation, in staying or remaining at one stopping place. It has rightly been said, do not show people the way and determine their duty and responsibility as jurists and the men and women they influence in the Islamic world do, but rather give them insight, as the Islamic world also gives as a hidden treasure, as a tool to use to gain consciousness of themselves, their beliefs, and their surroundings, and they will find the way themselves. They will recognize their duty. Insight and intuition come in many forms. Understanding the meaning of the Quran is one of them. One way for Muslim men and women to self-identify with the Quran, to see it as the wisest of teachers. To conclude, I would like to narrate chapter 90, The Land, as an example. Chapter 90, The Land. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. No, I swear by this land, you are a lodger in this land, by one who was your parent and what was procreated. Truly, we created the human being in trouble. What? Assumes he that no one has power over him? He says, I have caused abundant wealth to perish. What? Assumes he that no one has seen him? Have we not made 2 eyes for him, a tongue and 2 lips, and guided him to the 2 open highways? Yet he has not rushed onto the steep ascent. What shall cause you to recognize what the steep ascent is? It is the liberating of a bondsperson, or feeding an orphan among near of kin on a day of famine, or a needy in misery, while being among those who have believed, counseled one another to patience, and counseled one another to clemency. Those shall be the companions of the right hand. But they who were ungrateful for our signs, they shall be the companions of the left hand, and over them fire shall be a cover. Wassalamu alaikum.